So in today's video, I'm working with Funky Blues. He's 2.5 years old, and in the last video, we've been working on a lot of foundation stuff with him to set him up for success, so he can be great at his discipline, which is going to be as a jumper. So we want to make sure that we are setting him up for success to not only understand how to use his body, but also if he knows how to use his body and knows how to use it well, then that's going to set him up for success to have less injuries, because he will understand how to use the parts of his body. No different than like an athlete, right? Athletes are a lot more limber, their muscles are more relaxed, their tendons are more relaxed because they stretch, they do these things, and it helps keep them less injured, where if we do not exercise, we might just step off the curb wrong and sprain an ankle or do something silly. Accidents always happen, but like if we set ourselves up for success, we have a greater chance to not have anything happen. So that being said, we've been working with him on the lateral work, if you watched before, getting him relaxed. I want, as I incorporate new things with him and doing different things, I want him to understand how to use his body. So when I teach him how to go up to a mounting block or how to do different things, how to send exercises with him, that he will have a concept of bridging the gap of understanding the question I'm asking of him. So you saw me last time using the flag to start to guide him laterally. I'm going to see if I can do that now with just my line and my energy. So I'm just going to pick up my hand here. I'm just going to ask. Good. So I'll stop there, pet him. So when his head went up for a second, I waited with him and let him figure it out, because if I go after him and like, you have to do this, we're not giving him the opportunity to have self-regulation. Self-regulation is when a horse knows and can think through something, which they've proven scientifically that horses really are methodical with their thought process. So we want to give him that opportunity to grow to be a good self-sufficient horse and a confident horse. And it's not about desensitizing, it's about actually allowing him to take that moment, instead of just having to get through something, take that moment to figure out what the right answer is. So I'm going to ask him to go off the other direction right now. So I'm just going to pick up my hand here. Just ask him to move over this direction. Good. So that was really nice. So you can see how light he is getting as a 2-year-old. I'm going to give him a second, love all over him, and I'm going to ask him to go off that other direction, see, because that was harder for him. He had to think, so his easier side is going from right to left. That's something that I'm going to take note of through all of my training with him to get him more evenly balanced. It's no different than someone who's right-handed and then has to write with their left hand all of a sudden. If you do it all the time, you get really good at it. So we want to make sure, and because horses don't see the way that we do, their brain's going to act differently on each side. So we do most of our stuff on the left side of our horse. Think about that way. We lead them, we do all these things on the left side. So when we start to ask something different, like for him, it's the opposite. When I ask him to go from the left to the right and I'm on his left side, he's like, why are you asking me to push off that direction? So I'm going to ask again, see if I can maintain the relaxation, because the head came up because he wanted to go, where am I going to put my feet? And I want him to start to understand. I want it to be automatic for him. This is a crucial point in horse training, is when we start them and we do the groundwork, is teaching the horse all the fundamental things on their own, so then when we get on their back, they understand the concept of what we're asking. So I'm just going to ask him, I'm going to put my hand in a position that says, hey, we're going to move over. And so it's not a thing to go backwards, but a thing to just kind of slide over. So he's thinking about it. So I'm going to stay with him. Good boy. So I'm going to do that one more time with him back. I'm going to bring him back the other direction, because I want him to understand that, and that's why we do this. We work through these things. You don't see me getting upset with him, but it's also the timing and the footfall. So I'm going to allow him and try to guide him when he gets in the rhythm, to stay in that rhythm with him. So I'm going to ask this direction now. So I'm going to ask, so he had to step back with that other foot first, and I'll explain that in a second. Good boy. So if you watch that video over again, you'll notice that he had the right front back and the left front forward. So to move laterally, he had to bring that other foot back so he could step across in this exercise, because this is an exercise using his hind, but stepping across from the front. So this case here, he's going to be stepping across with the front, with the left front over the right front. And when we get this down really good, I've got a video called He Showed Me Up. You should check it out. It's a great video with my horse Dauntless. And I was doing a side pass on him, and you can watch that video. I did it, and then he did it by himself. And you can see when they're doing it correctly, their diagonal pairs are going to be moving at the same time. That's how you know you have a horse that's using themselves in balance. So I'm going to ask him to go off this direction again. So I'm going to wait. Good boy. That was much better. So see how it still took him a second, but as we went through that, it's very important to kind of help him get that confidence to do that. And this is with everything. So this is just one small step that's going to help him feel more and more comfortable. So I'm going to do this again. I'm just going to ask him, rock back with that one. Then he comes across, across, across. Lovely. As soon as you notice, as soon as I take my energy off of him, he stops. That's what we want with lateral work. We want him to understand that. So I'm going to then now, if you look at his feet, he's got to reset his feet, because if I ask him to go laterally and the right front is ahead, he can't do that unless he steps back with that right front first, rocks back on his hind end, and then moves the left front across. So his left front, your right front, if you're watching this. So I'm going to set him up for success. So if I just ask him to go laterally right now, he's going to be off balance. So I'm going to ask him to step back and now come across. So wait. Good boy. So you can see off of that left to right, it's a little bit more complex for him. So I want him to have one really good go at that, and then we'll give him a little bit of a break. So I'm going to ask him then to come across. Good. And my energy is instrumental in this and helping him guide him. So when I'm thinking and I'm doing this, if you guys try this at home, now I'm getting a lick and chew. It's my first big lick and chew during this, so I love it. It means he's absorbing this information. So if you try this at home, think of you dancing with somebody else. You have to put energy, you have to give and take your energy as you're doing this. So I'm going to ask him to take one step back, and then step across, and then over, across and over and across. Good boy. So he had one little hiccup there, and then he got through that. So I want to see if I can get it one more time and get it really good for him, since this is just good mind exercises for him and he's still responsive for me. So I'm going to ask him to step across and over, and across and over, across and over. Good. Take my energy off. He stops, and now give him some love. Let him think about that. See how that right front is out here like this? So I'm going to ask him just to take one step backwards first, setting him up for success. And now I'm going to ask again. So I'm going to ask over, over, over. Wonderful. And I am so happy with that. He's such a good boy, and this takes time. It takes time to get your horse to be like this, but if you can take the time now to help build their confidence and have them really understand how to use their body prior to us getting under saddle. And if he was 5 years old and I was starting him, or he had issues, I go through the same process with any horse, because for them to truly have self-carriage, they need to know how to carry themselves in our world. And that's the biggest key, is they know how to carry themselves for survival, but they don't know how to carry themselves in the way that we're asking for them in our world. And it doesn't help our horse at all to get on their back and tell them how they're going to do something when they've never done it before. They might do it, but they're never truly going to be able to do it in self-carriage. And once again, I'll put the video link to He Showed Me Up, which Dauntless really shows a good way of when a horse understands how to use themselves. We are just literally up there guiding them and being as light as possible in the saddle for stuff that we've taught them on the ground, and then we bridge it to under saddle. So If you guys like this, hit the subscribe button. I love bringing more content to you guys and trying to help educate and help you have peace with your horse and help you have a better partnership and understanding with your horse on how to get to these things. Thanks so much. Take care.